Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping into something really practical, something potentially life-changing, actually, learning to speak a new language.
Specifically English, right? Especially for those of you just starting out.
Exactly. And it's maybe less about just memorizing lists and more about, smart strategic practice.
That's spot on. Our mission here is to give you a real shortcut. We want to cut through all the noise and get right to the most effective step-by-step ways to actually learn English.
Yeah, we've basically distilled the key insights from a pretty comprehensive guide. The aim is to give you those aha moments, those actionable steps, but without making you feel overwhelmed.
Right. We've really dug into this one resource titled How to Speak English, a step-by-step guide for beginners.
And it really hammers home one core idea, doesn't it? Consistency, a methodical approach.
It really does. And that brings us to the absolute foundation we found in the guide. The key to unlocking any new language. It isn't some innate talent or just hours and hours of unfocused study. It's consistency.
Simple but powerful.
It is. And the guide makes a strong case for why it's so powerful. You don't try to boil the ocean, right? You focus on one step. You practice daily. And that improvement, it really starts to compound, probably faster than you'd think.
Okay, so let's unpack this pathway, step by step. Where do we begin? The guide suggests starting somewhere maybe a bit counterintuitive for speaking.
Yeah, it starts with listening. Active listening. Our deep dive showed that before your mouth can really make the right shapes, your brain has to get used to the sounds, the rhythm, the whole flow of English.
Like building a mental sound map.
Exactly. If you can't really hear the differences, producing them accurately it's incredibly difficult.
Okay, so active listening. What should people be tuning into? We found some really good practical suggestions.
Yeah, things like English music to start. Maybe slower, clearer songs initially.
Right, and the guide had a great tip. Look up the lyrics, try singing along. It helps connect the sound to the word, makes it active.
Definitely. And beyond music, there are tons of podcasts specifically for English learners. Those are gold because they usually use slower speech, simpler words.
Easier to follow.
Much easier. And they're often structured to actually teach, not just entertain, which is a key difference.
And what about visual stuff? We found mentions of, believe it or not, kids' TV shows.
Oh, yeah. Cartoons and children's shows are fantastic.
Yeah.
Simple language, very visual context. It really helps comprehension, especially early on. Plus, YouTube. There are countless channels teaching English, often with specific lessons on listening or tricky pronunciation points.
The crucial thing seems to be making it a habit, though.
Absolutely. The guide strongly recommends just 15 minutes every single day, minimum.
Just 15 minutes. That feels manageable.
Totally. And it's flexible. You can do it commuting, doing chores, exercising. It's about weaving it into your day, not making it another big task you have to schedule. Build that consistent exposure.
Okay, so the ears are getting tuned. You're absorbing the sounds. What's next? Actually, making some noise yourself, right? Speaking.
Right. And this is where the fear factor often kicks in, isn't it?
Definitely. The guide acknowledges that fear is maybe the single biggest hurdle.
So the solution offered is all about low-pressure strategic practice, ways to start speaking without feeling judged or put on the spot.
And one technique mentioned is shadowing. Can you explain that a bit?
Sure. Shadowing is, it's really effective. Basically, you play a short English audio clip, maybe just a sentence. You listen carefully, then you pause it,
Okay.
and then you immediately repeat that sentence out loud. The key is trying to copy everything, the pronunciation, the rhythm, the intonation, like exactly as the speaker said it.
So you're literally mimicking them.
Precisely. You do it over and over. And the benefit, as the guide points out, is it physically trains your mouth, your tongue, your vocal cords. It's like a workout for speaking English.
Helps with the accent and just the flow of speaking.
Exactly. It helps shape how you produce the sounds physically. Very active learning.
Okay. What else in this start speaking phase?
Another simple but effective technique, just read aloud.
Read aloud. Like anything.
Yeah, pretty much. Grab a simple English book, a news article online, whatever. Read it out loud for, say, 5 or 10 minutes a day.
And the point is just
getting comfortable with the physical act of forming English words and sentences, overcoming that initial, awkwardness or hesitation,
right.
making it feel more natural to actually speak.
Right, just normalizing the act itself. Okay, it makes sense. So listening foundation, then starting to speak with low-pressure techniques. What about actually building sentences, vocabulary, grammar? That feels like the heavy lifting.
It can feel that way, but the guide offers a really smart approach here. Good news first.
Yeah.
You absolutely don't need thousands of words to begin communicating.
Really?
Yeah, the advice is to focus initially on maybe the 100 most common English words. Get those down.
The absolute
Right.
basics.
Then you expand strategically, focus on words related to your life, your family, job, hobbies, food, daily routine, stuff you actually need to talk about.
Makes the learning immediately useful.
Exactly. And it highlights something crucial about how you learn words.
Which is,
Learn phrases, not just single words in isolation.
okay. So instead of just learning the word good,
Learn good morning, good job, sounds good, stuff like that. Why? Because it teaches you words in context. It makes your speaking sound much more natural, more fluid. You're not constantly trying to piece words together from scratch.
that makes a lot of sense. Less mental effort when you're actually talking. Okay, what about grammar? That's often the scariest part for learners.
It is. And the guide is quite clear. Don't get bogged down in complex grammar rules right at the beginning. It's counterproductive.
So ignore grammar. That sounds risky.
Not ignore it entirely, but focus on the absolute essentials for basic communication first. Think about it. How much of your daily conversation in any language is about simple actions in the present, past, or future?
Probably. Most of it. Like 80–90%?
Exactly. So the guide brilliantly cuts through the complexity. Focus on understanding and using just 3 core tenses to start.
Okay, which ones?
Simple present, like I go, you speak. She works for habits, facts, things that are generally true.
Got it.
Simple past, I went, you spoke. She worked for things that are finished, done.
Right.
And simple future, I will go, you will speak, she will work, for plans or predictions. With just those 3, you can express a huge amount. Trying to master, the past perfect continuous before you can confidently say, I ate breakfast is just not efficient.
Build the foundations first. Communication over complexity at this stage.
Precisely. Master these building blocks and you can actually start communicating meaningfully, which builds confidence like nothing else.
Okay, so we've got listening, initial speaking practice, core vocabulary, and basic grammar. What's the final piece, the thing that really brings it all together?
Phase 4, gaining fluency through actual practice, using the language with people. The guide stresses this is ultimately the most crucial step. You have to use it to communicate.
Makes sense. Language is for connection. But how do you practice if you're still nervous or don't know native speakers?
Well, there are stages here too. One surprisingly effective method, even if it feels a bit strange initially, is just talking to yourself.
Talking to myself. Out loud.
Yeah. Narrate your actions.
Yeah.
As you're doing things. Just say what you're doing in English. Okay, I am waking up now. I am going to make some coffee.
Huh. Like a running commentary.
Exactly. It builds fluency in forming sentences in real time, gets you thinking in English, all in a totally safe, zero-pressure environment. It's like mental reps for conversation.
Interesting. Okay, what's beyond talking to yourself?
Finding a language exchange partner. This is huge. Someone who's a native English speaker, and ideally they want to learn your native language.
So you teach each other.
Yep. It's a win-win. You practice your English with a real person. They practice their target language with you. It's authentic practice.
Where do you find these people?
We'll get to specific resources in a moment, but there are apps and websites dedicated to this.
Okay. And what if finding a regular partner feels like too much commitment initially?
Then conversation apps are great. Apps designed specifically to connect you with tutors or just other learners, often for short, casual conversations, low stakes, easy to jump in and out.
The key thing through all of this practice seems to be mindset, right?
Absolutely critical. The guide repeats this often. Do not be afraid. Mistakes.
Easier said than done sometimes.
True. But mistakes are not failures. They are proof you are trying, learning, stretching. They are a natural, necessary part of the process. The goal isn't perfection.
It's communications.
Exactly. Can you get your message across? Can you understand the other person? That's the win, especially early on. Focus on connection, not flawless grammar.
That's a really powerful shift in perspective. Okay, so these steps provide a clear roadmap. But what about tools? We mentioned finding partners, apps. What free resources did the guide highlight that you, our listener, can use right now?
Yeah, lots of great free stuff out there. For apps, Duolingo is probably the most well-known. It's great for vocabulary, basic sentences, and it's game-like, which keeps it fun.
Good for motivation.
Definitely. Then there's HelloTalk. That's a fantastic language exchange app. You can chat with native English speakers using text, voice messages, even video calls. Really connects you globally.
Nice. Any others?
Speaky is another popular one. Similar idea, finding language partners quickly for instant chat practice. very intuitive.
Okay, apps covered. What about YouTube? You mentioned channels earlier.
Oh, yeah, some amazing channels. BBC Learning English is top tier. Huge variety of lessons, grammar, vocab, pronunciation, news segments, all really clearly explained.
Reliable source.
Very.
Mm.
Then for pronunciation, specifically American English, Rachel's English is incredible. She has these amazing close-up videos showing exactly how your mouth should move to make different sounds. Super helpful.
Wow, details.
Incredibly. And for a bit more personality, Speak English with Mr. Duncan. He's this really passionate teacher from the UK. His videos are fun, engaging, cover everyday topics, very relatable.
Great suggestions. And websites for finding those exchange partner.
Tandem is a big one. It's both a website and an app, actually.
Yeah.
Huge community, good filters to find the right kind of partner for you.
Okay.
And then there's conversationexchange.com. Maybe it looks a bit simpler, but it's very effective for finding partners for text, voice, or video chat. Straightforward.
Fantastic. So plenty of resources to support these steps.
Absolutely. The point is, by following these steps, listening, starting to speak, building sentences smartly, practicing and using these tools consistently, you will build the skills. You will build the confidence.
It really comes back to that core idea, doesn't it? Consistency.
One step at a time.
Yeah.
Building momentum. It's not magic, it's methodical progress. And it works.
So this deep dive hopefully has given you really practical, actionable steps, plus the resources to actually start your English speaking journey effectively. And it leaves us with a thought, maybe something provocative to consider. If the main goal in learning a language isn't hitting perfection right away, but focusing on clear communication, and if embracing mistakes is actually key to that progress, well, what other areas of your life, what other skills you're trying to learn or goals you're aiming for could really benefit from adopting that same mindset? Communication over perfection. Something to think about.